Neurofeedback, also called neurotherapy or neurobiofeedback. This is a type of a biofeedback that uses real-time displays of brain's activity, most commonly encephalography signals, in an attempt to teach self-regulation of brain functions. With that in mind, let's talk about this. I am Dinwan Jayakrama and welcome to the topic of Internet of Thoughts, Chapter 7. The activity in your brain determines everything you feel and do. While most people have normal brain function, they still have brain imbalances or chronic emotions that affect their day-to-day life. This is where neurofeedback can help. Neurofeedback is a way to train brain activity. It is a biofeedback for the brain. To understand neurofeedback, first we need to understand a bit of the background of brain waves. For that, you can watch my previous video about brain waves. So, the biofeedback uses heart rate, skin conduction, breathing, and muscle tension. So, basically, the neurofeedback uses the observation of one's own brain waves. So during the neurofeedback therapy, the brain receives reinforcement thoughts, a visual stimulus presented onto a screen, and utilize operant conditioning where biofeedback does not. So again, neurofeedback is a separate, non-invasive method utilizing operant condition to teach the brain to function more efficiently. This leads to the question of how neurofeedback can help neurological issues such as a stroke, brain surgery, concussion, anxiety, sleep problems, post-traumatic stress disorder, Parkinson's disease, and movement disorders such as myoclonic. Neurofeedback can assess the functioning of the brain and where it is not functioning properly. It can locate a specific location if there is one, which is often the situation with a stroke, or it can locate neural dysregulation of the various neural hubs as seen in concussion and PTSD. It is important to remember that anxiety is the symptom, not the cause. Neurofeedback looks for the cause, such as what specific pathways are dysregulated or over or underactivated. Once this type of assessment locates the cause of the symptom, then a wide variety of methods and equipments can be chosen based on what is the best one specifically for your needs and neurological disorder issues. In the modern days, EEG signals have been used to improve neurofeedback targeting sensory motor rhythms and motor skills based on brain-computer interfaces. As far as I know, mu rhythms being used with brain-computer interfaces. The electroencephalography mu rhythm is a sensory motor rhythm which is characterized by frequencies that fall in the range of the alpha rhythm and has been identified both in the premotor and motor areas. So this is what happens when using brain-computer interfaces to use for neurofeedback capturing. Basically, a neurologist will apply electrodes to the scalp of the patient to listen in on brainwave activity. Then, they'll process the signals by a computer and extract information about certain key brainwaves frequencies and helps to train them using a rewarding system. Also, there are plenty of research out there which brain-computer interfaces were used to rehabilitate brain damaged people or the patient with neurological disorders. Once we know the areas of concern, we can create a training plan to help draw your brain into a comfortable, efficient state. That brings us to neurofeedback. During a neurofeedback session, we compare what your brain is actually doing to what you'd like to be doing. When your brain is nearing a more comfortable state, you are rewarded with a positive response on a computer screen. Usually, this neurofeedback is in the form of a video game, music, or a movie. The sounds and images tells you immediately when your brain approaches a more efficient place and when not. When the movie plays, it is because your brain is approaching the desired state. When the movie stops, it is because your brain is heading the other way. Brain rewarding system is the reward system that is made up of a group of neural structures that are responsible for incentive, salience, which is our desire, craving for a reward, associative learning, and positive emotions that involve pleasure such as joy, ecstasy, and euphoria. I'll tell you the best example which you can understand of the rewarding system. So, the role in this in social media, they provide a good model of the dopamine feedback loop. The search for the information or entertainment drives people to scroll through their Facebook news feeds. For an example, in anticipation of pleasure when something interesting pops up. It is not necessary that there are a great number of interesting items in the feed because, as in operant conditioning, an intermittent reinforcement schedule is the most effective for maintaining target behavior. In this case, the desired behavior is keeping people scrolling as long as possible. The feedback loop also manifests through posts as people post anticipating responses and are rewarded by likes and other reactions. Chamath Palihapitiya, who was the vice president for the user growth at Facebook, so before he left the company in 2011, he said the short-term dopamine-driven feedback loop that they have created were destroying how society works. No civil disclosure, no cooperation, misinformation, and mistruth. So yes, this can be used for good and for the bad. Alright, now you all know neurofeedback is a way to train brain activity and it can be used with brain-computer interfaces. So I hope that you all learned how this works up to some level. So it's a wrap up for the chapter 7 video. I'll see you around.